Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery. Hello, Bill. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Randy, always a pleasure. Marilyn, Craig, how you feeling, buddy? How you feeling? Wow. All right, got that out of my system. Hello, JC. Nice to have you with us. Hey, Harry, how you been, buddy? Jason, as well. Look forward to seeing you down here in just a couple of weeks now for the Walleye for Warriors event. What's up besides gas prices? Let's see. What's up? I got myself a new concealed carry gun. Terry checking in from Singleton. How are you? Hey, Dennis. Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. David, Bernie. John says, Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Only get one choice for bear hunting now. What does that mean, Harry? Only get one choice for bear hunting now. I'm not sure what that means. No, Jim, I did not get my lawn cut. By the time I got home, it was raining. Broke my heart. What about the Loner Angler Quest here? No, I don't have it yet, Bill. I don't have it yet. Hope to have it by this weekend. Hey, Michelle, Judy, Patrick. It's raining here in Michigan too, Jim. That's why I didn't get my lawn cut. I was hoping to when I got out of the studio. Hey, Ross. Been thinking about you, Ross. Good luck. Brian says, shot me turkey with his bow on the weekend. That's wonderful, Brian. Outstanding. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, different Brian. Just want to check and make sure. No second choice. That's what I don't know. I haven't applied for mine yet. I don't think anything has changed that along that way, Harry. Hey, Joe, how are you? Joe. I can't. And here we still are. Hello, Mike. Hello, David. Like the bear by the turkey decoy. You like that? Hey, Lori, how you been? You used to pick red oak for your first choice, then like Newberry. Huh. We didn't, Brian, where we were. We were lucky. Thank God. The folks in Gaylord got hit. And it's not Gaylord. As you heard all the Detroit media people up there, we're here in the city of Gaylord. What's Gaylord? I don't know what that means. You used to pick red oak for your first choice, then like Newberry. I don't remember that. And yes, you can only pick one now. Okay, so what you're saying is you used to get a first choice and a second choice, and there's only one now. Okay, I got you. I have not, obviously, applied for my Michigan bear tag yet. You like the bear decoy for turkey hunting? I thought that was pretty cool. Lori picked Newberry. That's what I'm going to do too. Hello, Dan. Hello, Rick. Anyway, my name is Mike Avery. This is another edition of Wednesday Night Live here on my social media platforms. The reporter in the Sioux called it Gaylord. Huh. I would think the northern people were smart enough not to do that. All right, so here's a different report. JC says he applied for his online, and there's two choices. Lori says, no, you still get a first and a second pick. So what is it, my friends? I have a feeling it hasn't changed at all. Hey, Ron. Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, who already has a hunter in camp who took a 200-pound boar right off the bat. Ron has a bunch of hunters coming into camp this weekend. Ron, I'll be thinking about you guys up there. My buddy Nick Grillo's coming up. Cody Norton of the DNR is coming up. Harry says he was not offered a second choice. Steven says it has not changed. Tim says, good evening, Ron. Any idea how many points Any idea how many points one needs to get the first hunt in Newberry? You're going to need about 10, Jim. Not looking at the chart in front of me, about 10. Bernie says, go to White River and you don't have to choose. See, that's the great news here. And no, that reporter a while back called it Sioux Salt Marie. Okay. Uncle Johnny, how are you, buddy? It was nice to see you and your lovely bride yesterday. Thanks for coming over. I still got some of that B-dubs I got to eat tonight. Jason says, hey now. Because he's from the Salt. I mean the Sioux. I don't know, Lori. I got to do it. Paul says, hey, Paul, are you out of Facebook jail now? 500 pounders 20 feet from the cabin. Mark says he went to the hardware in Midland and wasn't offered a second choice. There's still a second choice. If you weren't offered a second choice, I think there's a mistake. In fact, you want me to go through it real quick? You won't be able to see what I'm doing because I'm not going to share my driver's license number. Buy a license. Purchase a license. ID and birth date. That's why I'm not... Michigan. I know this is really boring for you, but I wonder now. 8. I know I know. I'm not going to do this right now. It's going to take too long. I apologize. No, I didn't get the bird. Hey, good evening, Johnny. How are you? I didn't get the bird, and I'm giving up. I do need a lot of fingers for that birthday. 1958, Harry. No, Dan. I think I'm officially giving up. I'm a pretty patient guy, but I can only sit in the blind for so many hours and not only not see a bird, but not hear a bird. All right, Ron. Thanks for checking in. Ron is going to be very, very busy here for the next few days. He'll keep us posted on the hunt, headed back to the bait shack now. All right, Ron, have fun. I know everybody who's coming up there is real excited to get back up. Martin, how are you this evening? Hello, Bruce. Nice to have you along with us. First and second, yes. It's not a fact of giving up, Jerry. It's that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over with no chance of different results. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. There are no birds on the property I'm hunting. I don't see birds. I don't hear a gobble. I haven't heard a gobble in a long time. And it's just why? Why? Especially since now. Hey, Eric, how are you? I have, I just found out yesterday that though my new Angler Quest will not be done for a couple of weeks, Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest himself, told me that there is a loaner boat that I can use until my new boat's done. He said it's kind of a prototype. It was a prototype for the 2022 models. So he said some parts of it are a little bit rough. Some parts are not finished off as nice as a production model would be. He said, but it floats and it'll fish. I said, I'll take it. True. That's what hunting is. It's hours and hours of boredom and then about 30 seconds where it all becomes worthwhile. Exactly. If I thought there was a realistic chance that I could have a close encounter with a bird, I would hunt right on through the 31st. And maybe if the loaner boat doesn't come through this weekend. Exactly, Brian, but you saw him. There is not, Lori, because they don't have enough staff at the Lumberjack. And it'll be a heck of a great ride. Exactly. Good evening, Davina. Wondered if you're going to join us, Davina. So don't forget to apply for your Michigan Bear and your Michigan Elk tags. I will get my third season choice in Newberry. I'll be hunting with my buddy Johnny Bowler. Once again, Johnny's on here right now. There he is, buddy. Laura is leaving for White River in the morning. Whoop, whoop. I didn't realize you were going up there, Laura. Oh, Laura, your picture looks great. Good for you. Haven't seen you for a while. I look forward to seeing you and Dave again soon. Laura, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand will be up there, and Cody Norton, who is the DNR's head bear guy, will be up there. Tim says we fixed the lack of turkeys by growing on the fence in the backyard. That'll help. That helps, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, what was I going to talk about tonight? Couple of things here. Memorial Weekend coming up. How did it get to be Memorial Weekend? You got 10 points? Hoping to get your tag and hunt with Johnny. 10 points. Are you applying for the first season, Lori? That should be a done deal. I think I had 9 when I got my Newberry tag. I'll have 1 when I get my second tag here now. Okay. Wednesday Night Live. Our next one in the field. I was hoping to do one next Wednesday with my new Angler Quest. I will not have my new Angler Quest, so I won't be able to do that. I'll have a loaner boat, a prototype. I do, Jim. I'm getting to it. A loaner, a prototype that I don't really want to show off. I'll wait till I get my new gun. But what I can tell you is 2 weeks from tonight, which is June 8th. My gosh, where is this year going? June 8th, I will be live at the Brenton, USA hunting rifle factory in Lansing, just down the road from the governor's office. And I'll be there to show you more about Brenton, and I will be there to pick up my new 350 Legend that I have on order that is now done. I haven't seen the gun yet. They won't even show me a picture of it. They're waiting to unveil it to me during that Wednesday Night Live. So that'll be 2 weeks from tonight. We'll do a Wednesday Night Live from the Brenton, USA hunting rifle factory in Lansing, Michigan, just down the road from the governor's office. Speaking of Brenton, USA, on the radio show this week coming up, Mike King, who owns Brenton, is my first guest of the week. And he tells the story of just returning from Alaska, where he took a 900-pound brown bear. He shot it at 50 feet. The animal dropped into some real thick brush, and then they had to go in there and look. He did not shoot it with one of his Brentons because he wanted a big gun, and the biggest gun you can get with a Brenton is a 450 Bushmaster. He wanted something a little bit bigger. Harry makes an interesting point here. Memorial Day coming up, a weekend to remember our fallen soldiers. Amen to that. Absolutely. Am I itching to get out in the Bay? I'm jonesing so bad to get out in the Bay. I can't stand it. Have we discussed the mandatory registration of our deer kills? Briefly, we did last week, Mike. It will be mandatory this fall to do an online registration, an online check-in. There will be an app where you can easily do it on your phone. I am all in favor of it. It will be mandatory, but I can tell you this, at least for the first year, there will be no penalty to pay if you don't. I've already been told that by the head DNR deer guy. He says anytime they put a first-year law into effect, they look at it as an opportunity for education. Lori's headed to the Bay this weekend. Excellent. Hey, Jerry, how are you? But I'm all in favor of it. And then after Mike King joins us, then Nick Bougie of the Michigan Wildlife Council. In hour number 2, we're talking about bow fishing. You might know bow fishing as something called carp shooting. Jason Horton of the Michigan Bow Fishing Association will join me. Then Randy Claremont, who is the Lake Huron Basin Coordinator for the DNR, joins me to talk about Atlantic salmon, the Lake Huron fishery in general, and he addresses the question, and I admit that I framed it in a way to maybe make him go that direction, but he was going to anyway, about the 5 fish that they have found. I don't think they're going to enforce that right off the bat, Brian. I think that might be an urban legend at this point. Talking about the 5 fish they have found in Lake Huron among the hundreds of thousands caught each year by sport fishermen, the 5 fish that had a brown color to them and the flesh was a little bit hard. And well, they're going to have to find a way to do it, Tim. I don't help me out, Harry. I'm not following you. I got sidetracked here. The 5 fish found on Lake Huron that had a brown color to it. Now, if you watch the media, the regular media, or if you go to some of these Facebook fishing sites, they'll make you think that the sky is falling and this is a pathogen that's going to destroy the Lake Huron fishery, the Lake Huron walleye fishery. And it's going to be like bacterial kidney disease or VHS or whatever that was. It's not. 5 fish out of 400,000 caught by anglers, and people are making a big deal out of it. If you catch one of them, the DNR does want to see it so they can do some lab tests on it, but don't get all cranked out of shape about nothing. I'm telling you, after spending 13 years in television news, I can tell you right now, it's manipulated. I'm not saying it's untrue. I'm not saying it's fake, but every TV newscast is structured in a way to fit into a formula. I saw it 1,000 times myself. And God bless them. A lot of these TV reporters are young and they don't have experience yet. Because I was there once. I get it. I know you've got to pay your dues. And you can tell when you look at them, they're scared to be on camera, but that's okay. You've got to pay your dues. You got to learn somehow. And unfortunately, the thing about working in TV news is, unlike, say, if you're an accountant and you learn your trade and you make a mistake, yeah, a few people know about it, but it's not broadcast to the world. If you're a poor TV reporter, a young kid learning how to do it, every time you make a mistake and every time you don't do as good a job as maybe you should, everybody sees it. So it's a tough business to break into because there's nowhere to hide. Where can I read about that new rule? Not sure I understand why they're making it mandatory to register your deer. Davina, just do a Google search on Michigan DNR deer registration. It's an attempt to catch up with most other states across the country. The thinking is that the people who hate the DNR, and there are many, have been complaining that our deer harvest numbers are inaccurate because, a DNR check station or something like that, so the DNR said, if you don't think they're accurate, we will address that problem. And you will now be required by mandate to register every deer you harvest. Be careful what you gripe about, right? And then getting back to the radio show, you thought I forgot. In hour number 3, Richard P. Smith, noted outdoor writer and whitetail black bear hunting expert. Will you still be able to take your deer to the DNR to receive a patch? I suspect, Jerry, that they will use that reporting system to get your patch. Tim Binge, you're an old guy. Depends on where you're at, Brian. Exactly, Tim. You guys have required it for years. And here's something I forgot to mention on the radio show earlier, too, talking about required to report your animals and get a successful patch. I got a letter back from the Ontario DNR about the bear I killed in White River with Ron St. Louis last August. And they said we were unable to determine the age of your bear. Now, the reason they do that is they pull it so they can get an age on it and, just see how old their bears are. Mine, they said they couldn't because it was either decayed, broken, or an incomplete sample. So I don't know how old mine was. I will tell you that I got a bear full body mount right over here. Another big sow, big, she's like 260 pounds, that I shot in Ontario years ago, and she was 16 years old, a 16-year-old bear. So interesting. Anyway, Richard P. Smith joins us. He says that he thinks, well, Sal, you're welcome. I'm glad you're watching on YouTube. Davina wants to see it. Davina wants to see it. That bear right there. She was 16 years old. Oh, that's going to fall. I'm telling you right now, sometime during this show, that's going to fall. You like it, Ben? Nice, he says. Nice. Awesome. I like awesome better than nice. Yeah, one deer in Ohio. Richard P. Smith says he thinks if UP deer hunters realized how bad they were being discriminated against by not the DNR but the NRC, he said there would be an absolute uproar. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Absolute uproar. What else? Oh, my grandson Carter. That bear, Jim, was 260 pounds. I got a couple of 300-pound boars here on the wall too, 300 plus. One was 312 and one was 350. Let's see what we can do here. Not that guy. That guy right there. That bear was over 300. He was a big boar. And then that guy right there was like 3.5. All those shot with a bow. It is going to get me. Lots of ticks this year. I have not run into a tick yet. And that's okay. Anyway, my grandson Carter has been shooting my granddad's. You like my man cave? I do too. I've been shooting my grandpa's 20 gauge on his high school trap team. Last week, he was shooting in the middle of a round, and his firing pin, I don't want to say it seized up, but it didn't move smoothly enough to hit the primer and make the shell go off. It's a 60-year-old gun. I knew it needed to be clean. So I got it working enough there at the gun club for him to finish his rounds. By the way, he shot a 36 out of 50, which ain't bad. And then my mounts, 95% of them were done by RJ Meyer at the trophy room, who is now moved down south. Loved RJ, miss him dearly. So they cleaned that gun out, and it's a beautiful gun. It's a 60-year-old Remington Model 58, 60 years old. The gun's like as old as I am. Well, roughly. So I thank the guys at Duncan's for doing that. I took it over to Duncan's because they have some wonderful gunsmiths. While I was there, I had given them a call ahead to say that I was looking for a new pocket carry gun. Now, I need another handgun or concealed carry handgun like I need, nothing. But I said for the summertime, I would like a different 380 pocket carry gun because I got a couple now. And okay. So while I was in there, they found this for me. This is an LCP2 in 380, and it also has a laser. I'm pretty happy with this gun so far. I had the original LCP and couldn't stand it. I had an LCP and I had an LC9, and I hated them both because of the trigger, and I traded them. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. And you're right there too, Jim. So it's a used gun, but it's in really great shape. And so far, I'm telling you what, I love this thing. It's not a 9mm. It's a 380. Would you want it to be your primary gun year round? I don't know. Do you want to get shot with a 380? I don't want to. Scott checking in from the Turkey Woods. How are you, Scott? But it's a good summertime gun. You put it in your pocket and it disappears. Nobody knows it's there. The way it should be. Different gun for different outfits. Hey, Randy, how are you? And I have some pretty small guns. I mean, for a big guy, I like small guns. I have a Car PM9 that I love. I've got an old Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380 that I really can't stand. Ed says he's got the Shield 380. Exactly, Harry. He doesn't want it at all. I don't know what that means. Good, slow action. Help me out, Scott. Where do I fish mainly on the bay? I fish the inner bay. I fish the southern part of the bay. I like the skinny water. That's what I concentrate on. I will go deep occasionally. Tim says he has the LC9 with the extended mag. Put a lighter trigger on it and shoots like a dream with the extended mag. Fits my big paw nicely. Well, that's the whole thing. That's the reason I didn't like the LCP and the LC9 was that original trigger. Yeah, if you put a different trigger on it. Plus, if I remember right, they both had a manual safety, and I am not interested in a manual safety on a carry gun. I know you can just click it off, but what if it somehow gets clicked on? Hey, Lee, good evening. How are you? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. By the way, just a reminder, 2 weeks from tonight, June 8th, I'll be at the Brenton USA factory in Lansing, Michigan, and I'm going to take delivery of that 350 Legend that I ordered from those guys. And Jim would know. He says, nothing worse than a gun that silhouettes in your pocket. Yeah. The whole concept, and, I was never a cop. I grew up around cops, and I have a lot of cop friends, so I get it. Kevin says his pocket gun is a Micro Kimber 380. Works for summer shorts. Anyway, Jim says nothing worse than a gun that silhouettes or prints in your pocket. Because the whole concept of concealed carry is concealed, right? You don't want people knowing that you're carrying a gun. And I got to be honest. I mean, I support open carry, but if a bad guy walks into a room and he's going to do something and he looks around the room and he sees one guy who's got a gun openly carrying on his hip, who's he going to shoot first? Diamondback, DB9. Jerry says he's a Glock guy, but that SIG 365 feels good in his hands. That is my everyday carry gun is the SIG 365, not the XL. That's the gun that I, in the wintertime, carry every day. But this time of year, this new LCP2, I like it a lot more than the LCP. I do like the laser. You put it in your pocket, it disappears, as it should. Scott Hand said the skinny water paid off again for me last weekend, 6 to 7 feet of water. Scott, you're killing me. My boat will not be done for a couple of weeks, although Brad has a loaner boat for me that I can use and probably be using that for the Walleye for Warriors event. Harry says, hey, cops are cool. We rode in the back of your dad's car a few times. Harry, do you mean while you were under arrest or just while he was giving you a ride? Harry and I grew up together about 2 miles apart. If that, maybe a mile. I've been under it a long time. Mike says open carry, I feel, is intimidation. Concealed carry is protection. That's an interesting way of looking at it, Mike. And I would not argue with that at all. At all. It depends on what your frame of mind is. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. It depends on what you want to do. Exactly. Hey, also, the thing about pocket carry is you want to put that gun in some kind of a holster that covers the trigger. Like this. That covers the trigger. You don't want to put a gun in your pocket unless that trigger is covered. And you don't want to put anything, in my opinion, you don't want to put anything else in that pocket where your gun is. You don't want to put your keys in there. You don't want to put change in there. If that is your pocket for your gun, that is your pocket for your gun. Now, I am experimenting with this one. as far as I also am trying to keep my Rapid River knife on this clip in the front of that pocket. I'm sorry, the back of that pocket to see if it stays out of the way. And it does so far. So that's about it. Okay, so we talked about guns. We talked about Carter's shotgun. We talked about my new slash used. And by the way, folks, how do you feel about buying a used gun? Is that something you're comfortable with, or do you feel that you're asking for troubles? You're buying somebody else's problem if you buy a used gun. Walleye for Warriors will be canceled. Avery does not have his own angler quest. Uh-oh. Boom. Screenshot. That one goes to Brad, too. I sent him your last one, Scott. He got a big kick out of it. I would be, hey, listen, I'm just happy to get a boat. Davina says she never had an issue buying used gun. Ben says for sure, as long as it's been taken care of. Look at it this way. It's broken in, right? And guns do not wear out. I mean, really, think about it. He likes them. Ryan likes it. This is, I haven't bought many used guns. Usually I trade for a used gun. This is the first one I bought, but they gave me such a good price on it, I couldn't pass. Couldn't pass it up. Laura says I can join him on the Polarcraft. Polarcraft would be a great gun, or a great boat to join him on, that's for sure. Oh, those old wheel guns. They just keep going and going and going. Mike says if you buy it from Jay's, I know their professionals have looked it over and it's safe and ready to shoot. Exactly. I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of it, Mike, is buy it from a reputable shop or a reputable person that you know has taken care of it and not abused it. That's a very good thought. Very good advice there, Mike. Roger likes the Uncle Mike holsters from Jay's. Ron says he's bought a lot of used guns. Saves you money, doesn't it? This thing was half of what it would have been to buy a new one. Hello, Sam. Sam from Jay's Sporting Goods from the archery department there, jsportinggoods.com. How are you, Sam? Robert says keep them clean. And that's exactly what I did to my grandson Carter's 60-year-old Remington Model 58. I took it over to Duncan's in Bay City and had him clean it all up. Jim, you're making a major leap here. A major leap. He says, since you're on a used angler quest, I don't even know if it's used. I don't even know. I think it might be new, but it's a prototype boat that nobody has run because they were putting it together when they were working on the 2022 models. Regardless, he says, since you're on an angler quest that's not yours, you can experiment with crawlers. I don't think so. Good friend of mine, retired OSP, Ohio State Police Detective. His old carrier was a Model 10 Smith & Wesson 38. He lost his in the Lucasville prison riot. I found a replacement for him for his birthday. I bought many used firearms. Wow. What a story that is. Sam just got out of work 10 minutes ago. How are things at Jay's, Sam? I know the Gaylord store was spared, did not get hit. Thank God. Well, that's another interesting point. Lee says, I will only buy a used gun that hasn't been messed with. People start changing triggers and stuff, messes with the reliability. When performance goes up, reliability goes down. Ask anybody with a hot rod. And you know what, Ron? Most used guns have not been shot that much, really, unless most people do not shoot their guns that much. Oh, so this weekend is Memorial Day, a time to honor those who gave. Think about this. Exactly, Tim. And that's what they told me. There was 60 years of powder in there. Davina says she loves Jay. She wishes they had one down south. Southern Michigan. How'd it go, Rick? How do your food plots? Well, it looks like you're going to get some rain for your food plots. Good for you. Memorial weekend, Memorial Day. A time to remember those who gave their lives so we can be free. Now think about this. For most people, Memorial weekend is a time to go fishing. It's a time to work in the yard. It's a time to fire up the grill, a time to go camping, a time to head north. All these fun, wonderful, great things. And we can do these things because over the years, over the decades, over the generations, some brave people have decided that they were going to leave their home, they were going to leave their hometown, they were going to leave their family and travel to some godforsaken part of the world, whether it was a jungle or a desert or whatever. And they were going to do that so we could be safe back here in Michigan. Talk about the ultimate sacrifice. So please honor these folks who gave their lives so we can do what we are this weekend, so we can be free. Decoration Day. My mom still calls it Decoration Day, Craig. Yeah. Robert's heading up the White River to see Ron and gang. It's something really special. I never served. I never did. And it's a regret I have had my entire life. Honestly. Honestly, it's one of the few true regrets in my life that I never served. Bass opener this weekend. John, does that really even matter anymore? I didn't even mention it on the radio show this week. Bass opener. You guys have a catch and release season. Most bass anglers don't keep their fish anyway. I feel like the bass opener is a non-event. Am I wrong? Help me out. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I feel like the bass opener is just inconsequential because you guys have been fishing bass since the ice went out. Oh, it does if you fish tourneys. It's hump day. Well, there are no bass tourneys before. Is that a rule, John? There are no bass tournaments before Memorial Weekend? Brian says bass opener here in Ontario is huge. Really? I would think of Ontario as a walleye, pike, and muskie water. And I'm sure we're talking smallmouth, right, Brian? Huh. All right, so going back to a little scheduling thing here, I was hoping to do a Wednesday night live next week from the New Angler Quest. I will not be able to do that because I will not have the New Angler Quest. I will probably... Exactly, Scott. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Just because we didn't serve doesn't mean we can't support those who did. So no Wednesday night live in the field next week because I will not have that New Angler Quest. I'll have a loaner prototype, and it's not really a boat that we're going to want to show off on camera, even though it'll be a beautiful boat. I'll wait till I get the real thing. The following week, June 8th, I will be at the Brenton USA factory, BrentonUSA.com, in Lansing, where I will take delivery of my new 350 Legend that I'm pretty excited about. In fact, I think I'm going to use it for my Michigan bear hunt. I've killed a lot of bears. All of them have been with a bow, and it just seems appropriate. No Frankenstein boats. It won't be a Frankenstein boat. It seems appropriate to kill my first Michigan bear with a Michigan-made rifle. So that'll be the 8th. On the 15th, there will be no Wednesday Night Live because I'm taking my lovely wife, Denise, to a concert down at Pine Knob, now called Pine Knob again. So those are your programming notes. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. You can reach out to me there anytime, any questions, comments, criticisms. And believe me, I have had an interesting week as far as criticism. I have been... And I don't know why, it's like this perfect storm of things that people who do not like me have come out of the woodwork. And yeah, it makes me want to go upstairs and have a maker's mark in here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Pine Knob is in your neighborhood. Aren't you glad they call it Pine Knob again, too, instead of DTE, whatever it was? Actually, we're going to see Tears for Fears, Tim. She loves Tears for Fears. She's seen them forever. They're back together. I like them too. So we're going to go see Tears for Fears. I will tell you this. The best concert I ever saw was at Pine Knob, and it was last summer. and it was Chris Stapleton. Oh my gosh. I'm not a country music guy, but I'm a blues guy. And his voice, oh, I mean, it would bring you to tears. It was the best show I ever saw. He's going to be at Soaring Eagle in Mount Pleasant this summer. There are no tickets available from the venue, but Ticketmaster is selling them from people who are selling their tickets. I might sneak over for that. All right, my friends, have a good night. I appreciate you joining me. Oh, should we country kicks ass? Country does something, but I wouldn't say it kicks it. I got to be honest. I think country music, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You play it backwards and you sober up. Your dog comes home and your wife does too. All right, my friends, before I get myself in more trouble, thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.